What's going on, guys? This is another episode of Nolan's Pod. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited because this is spring training for MLB, for Major League Baseball. Baseball is back. Spring training is well underway. And it's going to be a good season. And y'all already know that I'm finna lead off talking about the Braves. We're going to be doing a lot of talking about the Braves on this podcast in the coming months because the season is back up and starting. The Braves have played their first 3 spring training games. And, guys are trying to get their feet wet. Guys trying to get back into the swing of things. Nothing's pretty. Nobody is out the gates fast. And you got guys that are trying to make the ball club and guys that are trying to get better and improve. So with that being said, the Braves' first spring training game was this past Saturday. We played Tampa Bay. We ended up winning 6-5. In that first game, all our starters didn't play. The only regular guys that played in that game was Money Mike, Michael Harris, Jarred Kelenic, who made his Braves debut, and Marcell Ozuna. Those 3 guys. Let's talk about those 3 guys first. Money Mike was the leadoff hitter in that first game, and he hit a pitch hit, or excuse me, not a pitch hit, but a leadoff homer on the first pitch of the game. Now you know that it's hard to hit a homer leading off, but as my dad always says, the first pitch is always the pitch that's gonna be the best pitch that you're gonna see in the at bat. And lo and behold, Money Mike took him deep. First pitch to lead off. Now we see Ronald Acuna Jr. do that a lot, but obviously Ronald didn't play in that game because it's the first spring training game. Okay. Marcell Ozuna had 1 hit, and more importantly, Marcell had 1 hit. More importantly, Marcell played first base. Now, Marcell had been taking reps last year with Ron Washington, former Braves third base coach and infield coach. Marcell had been taking reps last year at first base. And we didn't really think nothing of it. And it continued in spring training, him taking reps at first base. And, maybe the Braves might work in the day where they give Matt Olson a day off and just let him DH and let Marcell play first base. I don't know. That's kind of my thought process on it. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. But Marcell did play first base, and, I didn't watch the game, but, from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like he did bad. And coming into spring training this year, it looks like Marcell lost some weight. It looked like he's in great shape and that he lost some weight. So I'm happy for Marcell. Obviously, he getting out on the field and playing defense. He just DHs for us and occasionally play left field. So I'm happy if Marcell's able to do that. If they could work Marcell in doing that, I don't know. But I'm just happy for Marcell. And then Jarred Kelenic, former Seattle Mariner, got traded to the Braves this offseason. Jarred Kelenic was a top prospect in Seattle's farm system, and he struggled. He struggled during his time with Seattle. He has an up and down, good moment, bad moments, but he kind of failed to live up to the expectation of him being a prospect. One thing I would say about Jarred Kelenic, he went 0 for 3 in his first game in his Braves debut. That's okay. It's first spring training game. Like I said, guys are trying to get their feet wet, trying to get things going. So that's not alarming. I will say that coming to the Braves is going to be good for Jarred Kelenic because no offense to the Seattle Mariners, with all due respect, Seattle is a good team. But if you know the Braves and watch the Braves consistently, you know that the Braves are a much better team than the Seattle Mariners. And if you think I'm capping about that, then something is wrong because we are a much better team than the Seattle Mariners. No offense to them. So Jared Kelenic is going to be better suited with us than I think he was with Seattle. And with that being said, Jared Kelenic doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to do too much because we have such a deep lineup and we have all-stars all around him. He doesn't have to try to carry the load like he tried to do at times with Seattle. So I think he's going to be more relaxed and he's going to play with a lot more freedom. And a change of scenery is always good for a player. So, and then the other guys that played in that first game, David Fletcher, former Los Angeles Angel, had an RBI sacrifice fly. Our third string catcher, Chadwick Tromp, had 1 hit and 1 run. Luis Guillorme, former New York Met, who always used to kill us, signed with the Braves this offseason. He had 1 hit and 1 run scored. Forrest Wall had a walk, 1 hit and 1 run scored. IG Alvarez had 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. More importantly, Spencer Strider went 2 innings. He pitched 2 innings. Strider had 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. Strider already looks in mid-season form just off of those 2 innings that he pitched, 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Spencer Strider added a curveball this year. He added a curveball. He already had the fastball and the slider. He just added a curveball. That dude will never stop not trying to improve his game. So he just had the fastball and the slider. And this offseason, he added a curveball. This dude just wants to get better and better every year. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year because if you listen to him coming into camp, he talked about last year was not a good season because we didn't do anything when it came to the playoffs. Yeah, we had a good season, but when it came to the playoffs, we didn't accomplish our goal of winning a championship. So he was not happy when he talked about that. So the sky's the limit for Strider. We know he's going to come back strong as he always does. The Braves' second game of the season, we lost to the Red Sox 5-4. Austin Riley and the regulars played that game. So Marcel, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie, Matt Olson, Travis d'Arnaud, Orlando Arcia, all those guys, they all played in the second game. Austin Riley hit a home run to right center. That's definitely music to our ears and good to see from Austin Riley. Matt Olson had 1 hit and 1 walk. Orlando Arcia had 1 hit. And then you have Phillip Evans, who's trying to make the ball club. He had 1 hit, 1 RBI base hit with 2 outs. And he had 1 walk. Jordan Luplow, who we just had, I think it was in 2022, we released him midway through the season. He's trying to make the ball club. He had a 2-run double. So that's good for Jordan Luplow. Jordan Luplow, if you don't know, you guys, he's a lot like Kevin Pillar. He's not going to start for this ball club, obviously. But he's going to hit against the left-handed pitchers. He's going to do his thing against left-handed pitchers, just like Kevin Pillar did last year. That's what Jordan Luplow is. He's the same thing as Kevin Pillar, basically. Bryce Elder pitched in that second game of spring training. Bryce did struggle in his first start. He only pitched 1 inning, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs scored, and a walk. So he kind of was spotty and he struggled. And more importantly, Bryce Elder, and I quote what he said, it's not important, you don't have to be good on February 28th or 27th or whatever date it was, which was that Sunday. You don't have to be good February 27th, 28th. What's more important, you need to be good on March 28th. That's the opening day. That's when the season starts. So I took that into consideration. I'm like, yeah, Bryce Elder, you're right. You don't have to be good on February 27th. You need to be good on February 28th when the season starts. That was an underrated quote that Bryce Elder said, and he was right on with that. you do need to be good by opening day. And Bryce Elder is competing for a fifth spot in the Braves rotation. So that's key what he said. Also, it seems like every year we come to camp, it seems like a guy for the Braves is pitching, is competing for a key spot or for a fifth spot in the rotation. Always, every time we come to camp, it seems like the fifth spot is always up for grabs. So Bryce Elder is going against some key pitchers in that fifth spot in the Braves rotation. Huascar Noah is trying to get in the fifth spot. We seen rookie up and comer last year, AJ Smith-Shawver, who pitched last year in the regular season, in the postseason. He's trying to get in that fifth spot. Darius Vines, who we've seen had a great start against Colorado, he's trying to get that fifth spot. You have Alan Winans, who's trying to get the fifth spot. Ian Anderson's trying to get the fifth spot. Ian Anderson is coming back from Tommy John surgery, so we don't know what Ian Anderson's going to be. He's always been up and down in his career so far. And then you have the guy that just signed with us this past offseason named Ronaldo Lopez. Ronaldo Lopez is much like Spencer Strider. He's a bullpen pitcher, but the Braves are trying to convert him into a starting pitcher. So he's been back and forth his career. He's been out the bullpen and he started. So we're trying to get him like Spencer Strider, where he comes out the bullpen and we're trying to make him into a starter. So that's what Bryce Elder has to go against, those guys that I just mentioned. So Bryce Elder, his first start was not impressive at all. But like he said, the key is not to be good. You don't have to be good on February 27th. You need to be good on March 28th. And then the third game of our season, we lost to the Baltimore Orioles 2-1. The regulars did play again. Marcell Ozuna had one hit and one walk. Forrest Wall had our only run of that game with a home run. That was in the 8th inning. IG Alvarez had one hit. David Fletcher had one hit. And more importantly, in that game, some key pitchers pitched for us. Max Fried got his first start of spring training. He pitched 2 innings, struck out 2 guys, and walked 1. He also looked in the midseason form, much like Spencer Strider. We know that Max Fried is going to have a bounce-back season off an injury-plagued season that he had last year. We know that he's going to have a bounce-back season, especially that Max Fried is in a contract year, so we know he's going to pitch like he's the Cy Young that he is. And it's very key for us that Max needs to do what he does best. And it's going to be key that Spencer Strider do what he does best. We know we're going to be able to count on those guys. I'm personally not worried about those 2 guys. AJ Minter pitched. He pitched 1 and struck out 2. Allowed 1 hit. Tyler Matzek, coming off of Tommy John surgery last year, did not pitch. But if you watch the Braves, or as a diehard Braves fan like I am, you remember Tyler Matzek from that 2021 NL CS, where he pitched against the Dodgers in that 7th inning, and he struck out to side with the bases loaded with no outs, and he struck out Mookie Betts and Albert Pujols with the bases loaded and no outs. So you're going to remember Tyler Matzek from that World Series run that we went on. He pitched yesterday. He pitched 1 inning. He had allowed 1 hit and allowed 1 walk. He's going to be rusty. He just came off a year not pitching. So I'm not going to be worried about Tyler Matzek. Dylan Lee pitched yesterday. In that game. He allowed 2 hits. 1 run was scored off of Dylan Lee. He allowed 1 homer, and he struck out 1. So it was kind of a struggle for Dylan Lee, but also not worried about him either. The bat's going to get going in that game. We only scored 1, as I mentioned, the Forrest Wall homer. So those are the 3 spring training games that we played so far. So guys, like I said, just trying to get their feet wet, just trying to get in the swing of things. I am excited to see what we're going to do this year. I'm excited to see if Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to have a better year than he had last year with the 40-70 season. That was incredible. We know Ronald's going to do great things. Ozzy Albies, his partner in crime, is going to do great things. Matt Olson's going to do what he does. Austin Riley's going to do what he does. I'm excited for the season that Money Mike's going to have. Money Mike had some struggles last year in his second year. I'm excited to see what he's going to do and the things that he improved on. Um, and then you got our catchers, Sean Murphy, Travis Darno. We know they're going to do their thing as a catching tandem again. And then you had Orlando Arcia, who's going to try to build off of what he did last season. Then you got newcomer Jared Kelnick. Change of scenery is going to do him good. And then you got Marcell Ozuna. We know Marcell struggled in April, but after April came and went by, Marcell turned it up. So we know that Marcell's going to do what he's going to do. Our pitching staff, Max Fried, Spencer Strider, we know those guys are going to give it everything they got. Newcomer, Chris Sale. If Chris Sale can return to that Cy Young form, I think we're going to have a good chance to win the World Series. If Chris Sale does not give us what we need, we're probably going to be in some trouble because we're depending on guys like Charlie Morton, who's turning 40 years old, and then we're going to depend on whoever's pitching in the fifth spot. So we're going to need Chris Sale if we want to accomplish the things that we want to do, and that's getting the World Series championship back in this city. Other Major League Baseball news, Cody Bellinger signed back with the Chicago Cubs for 3 years, I think $80 million, and he has an opt-out after each year. It was very important that the Chicago Cubs signed Cody Bellinger back because they need him. They needed him back. And they might even sign Matt Chapman. If they can get Matt Chapman, the Cubs are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But signing Cody Bellinger, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. But if you sign Matt Chapman, that just shores up your infield defense, especially at third base. No question about that. And then the other free agents remaining, you have J.D. Martinez, who still needs to sign with the team. You have NL Cy Young Award winner from last year, Blake Snell, who needs to sign with the team. It's rumored that he might sign with the Yankees. And then you have World Series hero and postseason hero Jordan Montgomery, who needs to sign with the team. It doesn't look like Jordan Montgomery's going to be back with the Texas Rangers. You have rumors of the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox, getting in on Jordan Montgomery. The Red Sox, y'all need to do something. Y'all are a historic franchise that has a lot of money, and y'all have not spent anything this offseason. Y'all don't even want to spend for some reason this offseason. Y'all have money like no other. Y'all have money like the Dodgers. No question about it. Sign someone to your pitching rotation because you need someone badly. You need to pay Jordan Montgomery because you need someone badly. Y'all are desperate. Come on, Red Sox. So that's really all I have for you guys. I am more than excited to give y'all Braves coverage this year. I'm excited about the season. I know we're going to do great things. That's all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about the Braves this year. Are we going to bounce back and win that World Series? We know we're going to the playoffs, but are we going to win that World Series is what I want to hear from you guys. All right. That's it. We out.